So this is the eBay 60mm wastegate. No particular brand. This one I believe I bought from DNA Motorsports. There's others out there. I think they're all probably manufactured in the same facility, likely in China. This one's been on my car for about a year. The car doesn't get a whole lot of driving. It's basically a street strip car. Gets driven on the street to the strip a few times a year and blast down the 8th mile, and then I do a little driving on the street. I just took it off to inspect it before I put it back on. Everything looks pretty good. There was a little corrosion on the valve, a little pitting that I cleaned off with a wire brush. That could have been because the car just sits so long. Otherwise, it seems pretty clean. The action is nice and smooth. There's a good view of the diaphragm. I have no idea how this compares to a proper high-end tile type wastegate or similar in terms of quality. I'm sure it's nowhere near as nice, but then again, this one doesn't cost $500. I've taken it apart, top of it anodized, nothing special. What holds it all together are these really cheapy two-piece V-band clamps. They use bolt 10mm nut with a blocking nylon. The springs that it came with are this inner and outer dual spring setup. I don't recall what the advertised spring rate was, but I think it was too much for my particular build. My build is just a stock block 5.9 Magnum Dodge motor. So I bought this spring, and I don't think it's a fancy brand name either. It was advertised as a 4 psi spring. On spring alone, my car makes around or up to 6.5 pounds. So take those advertised spring rates with a grain of salt. Your mileage may vary. The only issue I've had with the spring or this setup so far is I did try increasing the preload a little with this screw here to see if that would allow it to build boost a little bit quicker. It seemed to work, although it seemed like the pressure, and maybe I applied too much, was binding the wastegate, and I was getting the way I would describe it is some sort of like wastegate flutter, and I could see it being indicated on the boost gauge. It seemed like it was just opening and closing rapidly for a little bit until it cleared out and finally held boost at 10 psi. That's about it. You can see it goes together fairly simply, held together with the cheapy two-piece clamps. And that's it. Mine is actually routed to the downpipe. The exhaust pressure is recirculated to the downpipe. The flange is a little scarred in a few places, but that's probably because the owner's been a little too abusive to it. There you have it. 60mm eBay special wastegate.